What's up, everybody? Welcome to Untamed and Unhinged Reptile Podcast. Of course, we got my co-host from John, Arc Adventures, John, and then for today we got our guests, Adrienne and Aline. They're from FGS 8. If I'm correct, that's how she said it.
Hi
And
guys.
here they are.
Yeah. So also, it's Haley, by the way, is her name.
It's what?
Haley.
Haley. I thought she said
Yeah.
Elaine.
We're
I'm
close.
sorry.
And now that's her new nickname forever. So
I,
she'll forever be.
I feel bad now. I'm like, I heard her say. That's why I said Elaine. And she said, "Yeah." I was like, okay. So go ahead, tell us about yourself, guys.
All right. So we're For Goodness Snakes 8 Rescue and Rehab Center. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Our organization is dedicated to rescuing, rehabilitating, and rehoming exotic pets on the pet trade. But Haley and I are both also in the hobby, so we also have our own personal animals that we care for and maintain as well. We run an educational program here in our valley for our youth. We go into schools, libraries, pretty much anywhere that we're hired. And we have quite a bit of shows. We just got hired to do a couple really big shows in the valley, so we're pretty excited about that. But we're just a startup nonprofit. We're just trying to get our name out there as rescuers, but also education, our education program as well. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where do y'all live? Or where y'all are y'all are about? Because you said the valley. I'm like, that's near
yeah,
Texas.
the Mid Ohio Valley. So we're like southeastern Ohio.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
we border West Virginia.
That's why I was like, well, wait, the valley.
Yeah,
Damn. Okay.
Our town is it's very historic. A lot of like older people, retired people. So there's not a whole lot of things to do here for the youth. So we did create quite an extensive business plan. I have a pretty extensive 5-year plan for our facility, not just to be an animal shelter, but we also run kind of like an interactive zoo as well. It's small
Okay.
right now, but people still pay to come here and take tours and get educated on what we keep. So hopefully we can expand on that at some point.
So what made you get involved with all of that? Like what made you want to do this? That's what I'm trying to get at.
So I got my okay. So rewind about 15 years ago. One of my girlfriends. I've always been into animals, critters. So has Haley, like our whole lives. But one of my girlfriends got a Burmese python who had gotten stuck in a vent, and somebody yanked it out instead of cutting the vent and broke its back. So she knew that I wasn't afraid of snakes because I handle black snakes and garter snakes. Since I was a kid, I'll just pick them right up. I'm not intimidated by them. So she asked if I could help her with this rehabilitation project because she was a vet tech and a rehabber as well. And so that was about 15 years ago. And ever since then, I love them. I love reptiles, but also like arthropod, literally anything. I had my wildlife preservation permit. I've done raccoons, skunks, possums, like you name it, and I've rehabbed. So
A lot.
just pretty much my whole life, I've been
Yeah, I went back to look at your videos and I saw that you did like I guess modeling and then some reptiles. I was like,
Oh, no. Okay. So the modeling is so my friend's photographer, she's trying to get her name out there. So we run like campaigns and stuff. So we do a lot of fundraisers. Um,
okay,
the ones with our like snakes in the pictures, that actually raised us like over $1,000 for our facility. So
oh
any of those
nice.
that you see, usually it's for a fundraiser that we've done.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, we do. We do run an expo here as well in the valley. So we have it's called Jungle Jam, and we just decided that we were gonna just like explode with like all of our information and reptiles and just see what our community thought of it. And fortunately, they were very receptive and they really embraced us. We moved into a very historic building here on Front Street, like in our hometown. It's actually listed in the number 5 top most haunted places in Marietta. So there's a lot.
I'm like, why haunted? Why'd y'all pick a haunted place?
I'm for sure.
Cage is gonna wind up open for no reason.
And I still think I'm a skeptic, but a little less of one now because I've had to call the cops a few times here because I thought people were in here, but there wasn't anybody. So some kind of weird phenomenon happened in this building, but everybody knows about this building here. So I think when we get in here, people are like, oh, what's going into the Buckley house? Like, I wonder what's going into the Buckley house. So then once we started putting ourselves out there, people were like, oh, it's snakes. And then we got some pushback from the community because they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, they start freaking out.
What's that?
I said they start freaking out. They're like, oh, they got snakes. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, we were like the building department was called on us, the Department of Agriculture was called on us, the health department was called on us. People were just shooting left and right, just trying to get us knocked down. So once I started presenting though in public and in bigger crowds, because I do a lot of like live presentations just because I want to, one, spread awareness and to educate, but also I want people to donate to our facility. So I put myself out there a lot. But once I started doing that, the community was like, oh, well, this makes sense. And I asked the question, rather the 15-foot reticulated python be in your neighbor's basement who doesn't know shit about these animals? Or would you rather it be in a facility where it's, you know, being taken care of properly and confined so it's not getting out and wreaking havoc? People think they're going to get eaten by the animals.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know why, but yeah.
A lot of like that kind of educating as well, like squashing myths and not trying to portray that these animals are cute and cuddly like your dog, because they're absolutely not. You know, a lot of them are very much instinctual. But just to try to let people know that they're not lurking in their backyards waiting to eat their children.
So I see that y'all like try to get reptiles adopted. So do y'all take in reptiles and then try to get them adopted? Is that what it is? So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, so since we opened our doors in November, we've had around 86 surrenders and rescues, and around that many adoptions. So we're moving animals very quickly, and our adoption program is very extensive. Not just anyone can come in and adopt. We do a lot of gatekeeping, and we do not adopt out the restricted animals, such as like berms and certain voids, reticulated pythons, things that are on our restricted list in Ohio. But then we're also cautious about what's restricted in other states, who's adopting from where, and what animals can go to those states. So there's a lot to it, because it's not like a dog, you know, that anybody can just come in and adopt a dog. We make people show proof of an enclosure. We make people fill out an extensive adoption application, that sort of thing. So
it's a whole process.
Yeah.
That's awesome though.
Yeah, it has to be, because exotics are they're extensive animals. They're not just something you can throw up. And I'm not saying that you should do that with dogs and cats either. I'm just saying a dog or cat could sustain its life okay with, you know, a bag of dog food and water. But you have to really understand, like even the savanna monitors, you know, savanna monitors are insectivores. You see a lot of people throwing them a rat like once a week, you know, things like that. It's all like relative. You have to know which animal you're keeping and what their diet needs to look like and what their gradient temperature needs to look like and how much UVs do they need and what kind. And so we like to try to make sure people are ethically keeping the animals they adopt from us.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't really get into it, and they're like, "Oh man, this thing's huge," and there it is out in the wild.
We literally just had someone come in the other day, and he was like, I'm going to quote.
berm?
Yes. He's like, do y'all have any berms? And I was like, the Burmese python? And he was like, yeah, do y'all have any of those? And we were just like, I mean, we do have one, but we don't adopt those out. He was like, oh, why not? And obviously, like, they're on the restricted list in Ohio. Once they exceed 12 feet, you have to get a permit, and they likely will exceed 12 feet. So like, we just don't do that. And he's like, oh, no. He's like, I plan on keeping in a 40-gallon tank so that he doesn't get very big. And we just like looked at each other. We were like, is this for real? Like, this is a real thing.
And he's like, I used to have one, and that's what I did.
Yeah. And we were like,
Yeah.
no.
And I'm like, well,
Wait. So he said he used to house it in a 40-gallon tank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I think he must have had a ball python or something.
Yeah.
He said he had one for like 8 years and it never grew because he kept it in a 40-gallon tank.
yeah.
But you would not believe the things that like we
Yeah.
see in the, because it's so funny because we're super into the hobby. So we know a lot of like breeders and dealers, and we know a lot of people who are like, you know, in there, like in that realm of it. And then we're over here on the complete polar opposite side. And it's like, we see some crazy shit, like things that you would be like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like June of last year, some guy was just driving his U-Haul down Route 70, somehow just veered off the side of the road, hit a ditch, flipped his U-Haul upside down, and there were 35 snakes in it.
Oh wow.
He was a breeder. And so we get called to the scene of this accident by our local law enforcement, who, by the way, were like, okay, girls, you guys just, you've got it. We're going to stand back here. Pulling snakes out of this U-Haul,
Like armful. Every
Scared of
side.
snakes.
mites crawling all over us. And like, this U-Haul was infested with mites. He was feeding his breeder snakes
Chicken cutlets.
chicken cutlets, and he had them in these disgusting, like they were I think once upon a time they must have been nice breeder bins, but at this point they were not nice anymore, and that heat tape had melted all the plastic, and these animals were burned and they were covered in mud. It was just so, and there's 35 of them in there, you know. And so this is just like something that, you know, we do. And so
That's awesome though.
we're like,
I mean, y'all.
pillowcases. Okay, this one is A1, A2, B3. Like, we're labeling all these snakes covered in mites. Finally, we get them back to the quarantine room. And within 3 days, we started noticing some really weird symptoms. Every one of them had inclusion body disease. And we had to have them all euthanized. So just things like that, like, that's like a behind the scenes, what you don't hear about, what you don't see. And we're in the thick of it, just doing the shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we've got like 3 healthy surrenders.
yeah. The
3.
rest of them are, and the respiratory infections, the mites, the mouth rot, I mean, it's just, it is never ending. It's never ending. So, you know, we love to see like ethical breeders out here, like knowing their shit, doing right by their animals, but also doing people who are purchasing their animals. Because it's rare that we see animals coming from unethical breeders into the sanctuary, but it is very common that we see ill-equipped. I don't want to say unethical because I don't think they're doing it on purpose. They're ill-equipped keepers who just do not have up-to-date proper education on what they're keeping.
That's it. With education, I feel like that changes every day because
Yeah.
it's always something new. Always something new.
And something that
So-
we're saying, then it changes like a year down the road.
Yeah, like now they're saying, you know, you want to put substrate in with your bearded dragons, and they're telling you the mix to put in there. And, you know, and so we did that because we were like, okay, we want to stay up to date with like this good information to, you know, give them good enrichment. And I'm terrified. I'm like watching my beardies every day, and I'm like, are they impacted?
Yeah.
Are they gonna die? you know, because yesterday it was don't put in substrate. Today it's put in substrate. Tomorrow it'll be don't. They're starting to get impacted again. So it's just like, you know, you've got to do the best that you can with the information that you have available to you. And as long as you're doing that, I believe that you're being ethical.
Yeah.
Because there's no, I mean, 15 years ago when I first got my first Burmese python, I kept it in something this size, tiny. You know what I mean? Like, and I was a keeper. Now you get your head chewed off for doing something like that. We get
Yeah,
it.
it's a touchy subject. Yeah.
Well, we get it all the time, and we're just kind of like, so our favorite thing to say to people, because I keep adult ball pythons in 40-gallon breeders, and people are like, that's too small. And I'm like, but is it? They're opportunistic and ambush eaters, and they live in their burrows. Like, is it? Who's to say? I don't know. But my favorite thing to say is, if you don't like the way we're keeping, we're a nonprofit, so you can donate.
Yeah.
Send us an enclosure for that snake that you don't like how we're keeping it. So
I mean, that works. If it works, right?
yeah, so that's where we kind of get like some slack, because I feel so bad for like breeders and people who have to use the breeder bins, because how else are you going to do it, you know? And people are just, it's wild.
It's cutthroat.
It is.
Yep.
And they're like, UV light on your ball pythons. And I'm like, why? They're nocturnal. Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong about that. You just never know.
Yeah, I've heard that too. UV light on ball pythons, and I'm like, why?
Why? They don't like the sunlight. They're vampires.
I mean,
So I get that. Yeah, and then there's the other thing too, like big snakes in little tanks. Yeah, so I get that as well. Or keeping them in a rack system versus enclosures. It's a lot of stuff that you get chewed out for now. Back then it was like, oh well, if you fix this and do that, you're good. Now it's get rid of it.
Well,
So I
Back when
don't
I
know.
had a store, back when I had my store, you're talking about the Burmese being in a small tank. We had a guy who was a bodybuilder, like real known for in our area. He called me and said, "Hey, look, my wife's pregnant. She don't want the snake in the house no more. It's about 10 foot. You can have the cage and everything. It was like a caramel Burmese. I have an albino that I do shows with. We get it, and he's literally like a 10-foot berm in a 40-gallon tank, and he's never changed the substrate. It's like that much shedding under him, heat lamps all
Damn.
over it, mites everywhere. She wound up being a female, but we found a good home for her after we treated her and got her well, made sure she was good. But yeah, everybody's got that illusion in their head. If I don't grow the tank, the snake quits growing. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. It might slow a little bit, but it doesn't stop.
where is that coming from, though?
I don't
Like,
know.
how does that make sense? Like, if you put your baby in a dog cage, do you think it's not going to grow? Where is that coming from?
That's where chihuahuas come from, not big enough cages.
I have 2 chihuahuas. I really do. Ernesto de la Cruz and Dale are their names.
Nice.
But no, you hear things and it's just like somebody said it came from like the goldfish, because like if a goldfish is in an enclosure or a tank that's small, but their insides will continue to grow and they still die. So I just don't understand how that correlates.
But even if it was true, it doesn't mean every animal is like that too, though.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's just a lack of not asking questions. I mean, that's all I can think of.
Too scared to ask questions.
Yeah, they don't want to look dumb.
Why wouldn't they be scared to ask questions? I'm scared to ask questions. The community is I don't know who decided that everyone needs to be so crazy hateful, but like if someone's coming and asking just a simple question, people are like, ah, and it's like, dude, chill out. Like,
new snake keepers ask me all the time, how do you?
And you know what's funny though? She's right though. She's right. Like nobody can come in here and just ask one question while getting their head chewed off.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I get people all the time. What's the best advice you get for a brand new snake keeper? Stay off Facebook. Don't go to them. Don't ask questions, because you're gonna hate the community as soon as you get started.
Yeah, and discouraged. And then guess what? We're losing reptile keepers. So when that happens, what happens to our hobby? It's starting to dissipate. And it's like I feel like people think they're in some elite group or club because they have reptiles. So one thing that we're doing is we want people to buy reptiles. If people are buying reptiles, that's keeping us in business. That's keeping breeders in business. That's keeping, it's one of those things. It's like, and people are like, put it back in the wild where it goes. And I'm like, they're domesticated. It's just
Or
things that we
have,
do.
The wrong color. They're not.
or is that one saying too? A good snake is a dead snake.
Oh man.
Oh,
Bro, I hate hearing that. Like,
Yep.
do you even know what you're saying right now?
You hear it every
I
day.
get pictures every day. Somebody send me pictures of dead snake. What is this? Like, you could have asked me that before you did. You killed it.
remember
Bro,
that?
I know. So my buddy had a garter snake in his yard, right? And he tells my brother, he's like, "Hey, can you call your brother?" And I said, "Why? What's up?" Or he calls me and I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "Hey, my buddy has a snake in his yard. He wants to know if you could go get it out." I said, "Well, what is it?" And he sends me a picture. It's a garter snake, bro. And he's like, "Man, I don't want this snake to bite my kids because I have my kids back here playing, and it looks like it's venomous." I was like, "Bro, it's not venomous. It's harmless. It eats
Not a
just
garden,
insects and whatever's in the ground, man."
Doing this nature job.
Yeah.
rattlesnakes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we do we were helping this guy out who we know. He's one of my dad's friends, and he calls me. He's like, "I need help." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I'm trying to sell my mom's house, and there are rattlesnakes." We're in Eastern Ohio. Mind you. The only pit viper here is a copperhead, and they're not gonna
Yeah, I
come.
was gonna say copperhead, but yeah,
But they're not out terrorizing potential
yeah.
of this man's house. So he's like, "I need you to come and get these rattlesnakes out of my basement." So we go to help, and we've got snake hooks and herping gloves and tubes, and we're ready to catch some copperheads, because he's like, "It is for sure a rattlesnake." So I'm like, "It's probably just a copperhead clutch that whatever, or I guess they don't lay eggs, but it's probably just copperheads." So we went in, and this snake, it was the size of my pinky. I'm not kidding. Its head was probably that big.
Yeah.
It was just a little corn snake. And he's like, "Yes, that's it. That's the one. That's the
So they were just corn snakes.
Oh my
It
God.
was a little baby.
Yeah. I charged him $100.
Yes.
Anymore, let me know, because I'll come. It's gonna be $100 though, because I can't be risking my life with rattlesnakes.
That's funny.
Please don't let him watch this.
But yeah, that stuff is funny. There, every time somebody has a question about a snake, he's all, "I give my friend your number because they always want to ask questions about snakes." I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "You can tell them to watch my podcast too." I mean, I always bring different people on, you know. So, but yeah, this is why I started the podcast. Eventually, I'm gonna bring you back on because I'm gonna have a ladies' night. So I'll work that out with you. I'm starting ladies' night. It's just a bunch of group of ladies, different with what they're working with, and y'all just talk.
Hell yeah. Well, we are
So
we are primarily women, and we didn't do that on purpose. It's just I needed to make a board of directors, and I just called all my friends and I was like, "Hey, I want to open a nonprofit. I need your help. I need you to be board members." And they were all like, "Okay." So
well, that's awesome though. At least they were like, "Yeah, down for it."
yeah, because when you put together a 501c3, the IRS is very particular about who is on the board. So we had to have, because you can't be related to certain members of the board and that sort of thing. So I was very strategic about who I picked. And then we have grown substantially. We have 13 members now? We have 13 board members now, and
Wow.
we have it's wild. Everything just fell into place and is continuing to fall into place. That's why I knew that it was just what I was supposed to be doing. the universe just like shit it out for me and was like, here.
Jessica says, I didn't know I was going to have homework.
Oh, is that Jessica Budget?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's one of the people I drug onto the board. Here one night and I was like, hey, we have something going on. You want to show up? And I was like, okay, all in favor of voting Jessica on. And she's like, wait, what? And I was like, you're on the board. Congratulations. Yeah, now she is also everyone who's on the board is now an owner of a snake, a tarantula, something.
Tarantulas.
No, I don't. I want one, but I hold one, and I'm gonna tell you what, dear God, I wanted to scream like a little girl inside, but
Oh, you were screaming inside. That's what
I was, and that thing was just crawling all over me. I was shaking like this. It was just a little. I want to say it's Amelia, tarantula. It starts with an A.
Avicularia.
Amicularia. It was a little one. It was an orange or pink, orange and pinkish color.
I don't know what that is. Maybe it was a pink. But they're usually brown when they're or when they're little.
They have a orange boot.
But I don't know if you know her. It was from Daenerys. Daenerys' mother of spiders. She has like a whole thing of tarantula. So I went over there to her little booth, and she put it on me, and I was all shaky.
Yeah. So
I'm terrified of spiders.
Do you set up at expos and stuff like that? Are you like
I usually go to all expos. I try to, though I missed the one in Dallas, but
me too.
Yeah, we're trying to get an expo scene. We just did Ranson. What was his called? Help.
Captive bred.
Yes. And we did really well. We adopted out 5 animals and we met a lot of really awesome people. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. We want to do more of them. So
yeah, they're fun. Like the expos are really fun. Like I just go to hang out with the people, and sometimes I come home with stuff. Sometimes I don't. It just I don't know. I only go to hang out with the people and talk to the people.
Yeah.
This is what I really go for because when I'm with there, they let me I'll hold a snake and they'll be telling about like the whole like retic. That's why I changed over to retic because I was a ball python keeper / breeder, and I got rid of the ball python. So it's just like it's not my thing no more.
Articulated pythons are one of my favorites because of their personalities, but they can be a little. This one we have back here, she was just surrendered to us a few weeks ago, and she's a dick.
She's not.
Yeah.
No, there's just a video of her. I'm just like looking at the enclosure, and she's just like trying to eat me. So I don't
striking the cage, yeah.
Yeah, and
she's little.
She's little, and then she escaped. This is not something I should say publicly, but I don't care.
It happens.
Right? Hey, it's stories. It happens.
You're not keeping your snakes. And I'm like, have you ever kept a snake?
That's smarter than most people.
Yeah. Especially the retics, they're smart as hell. If they don't want to be in something, they're going to figure out how to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's locked up like the freaking Fort Knox, that fucker's out of there. So she got out, and I was like, oh my God, the chick got out of quarantine. Where is she? So we're looking everywhere. I get out a mouse, I thought, and I'm like dangling at places. Finally, we see her. She's up in the ceiling. So we had to like move. I mean, like in the ceiling, like in it. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Inside.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, she's gonna bite me. And I don't want to get bitten by her because she's big. She's not like huge, but she's big enough. I just don't want to take a bite. So I
it's still not fun.
Which I bought for $10.99 on Amazon. Check them out. I angle the mouse. She gets the mouse, and I'm just like pulling her out of the ceiling. And I was like, man, I really want to post this video, but I know people are just going to be hating left and right.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because she's just like holding this mouse, and I'm just like trying to pull her out of the ceiling rafters.
And then she's just like
Yeah.
trying to get you.
Trying to get me. She was after me. She hates me now. She hates me.
I think she hates
Yeah,
me.
retics are my
Damn.
favorite. I love the challenge of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
I have a Burmese python you can have if you like a challenge.
I'll take it.
His name is
Don't-
Huey Lewis, and he's a piece of shit.
I was like, don't send it to him, send it to me. I'm closer.
Okay, I'm not kidding. I cannot stand this.
I don't, Chris. They even said me first.
I have this Burmese python, and I have a Crebo. The Crebo has never once musked on me. Not once. This Burm acts like a colubrid. He's just musking on everything. You touch him and he's musking on you. He's shaking his tail, musking, striking. I mean, it's terrible.
You walk by him and he's hissing.
He's terrible. I've never seen a snake with this bad of a demeanor in my life.
He just wants to be loved. You gotta sleep with them. You gotta take them out and like sleep with them in your bed.
Watch out! Watch out!
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I tried him and he bit me in the stomach, and then he bit me in the elbow. He was lighting my ass up. He wasn't having
and his tail was just going.
And I was
I've
like,
never seen a Burm act like that.
For real. Me either. I never heard of a Burma act like that either.
He's not nice.
it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And yes, he's a juvenile still. Like, he's still small. I hope he grows out of it, but I think something's like wrong with him because Burms don't usually act like that. So I got him because I bought him.
Babies, they're babies. They're quite bitey, but a week or two of handling that's usually done and over.
Nope. There's no handling him. I was like,
Oh, well, that's why. Because he knows if he bites that you'll leave him alone and keep him in his closure.
Maybe.
No, so that's the same thing with the retic. Retic bites you in your closure, and you put it back because it bit you. Oh, it's gonna be like, oh, that's all I gotta do to be put back. Just bite.
I don't know about that.
Smarter.
The Savannah monitors are dumb.
But yeah, I mean, so that's why he does it, because he knows after a while you'll leave him alone.
Yeah, I tried. I was doing Hugo hour. I was like, Huey will get an hour of my day every day. And he was just like, I'm telling you, like flailing. Every time I get him out, he's like flailing and biting us.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, you should talk to Tim, because Tim works with big snakes too. I think he does work with Burmese and retics.
Yeah.
Tim, right here, this guy right here, he says never end on a bad note, bleeding or not.
Yep. And
you gotta
that's hard to do. That's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to do, but you don't want to put the snake back on a bad note.
He's like musking all over me, and so then I'm covered in musk, and it happens every time I hold him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, and the reason I usually put him up is because it fucking stinks. I don't want to sit there in it, you know? It freaking stinks. I'm so sorry.
See, he said Burm, retics, Nile monitors, the fun ones.
Yeah.
Come take my Burmese python, Huey Lewis.
Tim is awesome. I just met the guy, and we only met because he came into one of my lives, and he's like, dude, I like what you're doing with your podcast. He's like, your podcast you're shooting for, the way you're trying to do it, spread positivity, bring people on you never met. Because I never met you guys until I saw you on Instagram. So I was like, I'm just going to message them, see if they'll want to come on the podcast. And so when I bring people on, that's what I'm shooting for, is to, like, just tell stories, talk, see how we are with each other,
Well, and it allows different perspectives in, the hobby, because not everyone thinks the same as someone else. And I feel like it's nice to have a platform where you're not able to get attacked, because other than just like the comments that pop up, but then we're able to like kind of voice how we do things, and then somebody else might think differently and their views look different than ours, and it's okay to have a variety of thought processes when it comes to dealing with these animals.
Man, I wish I could bring Tim on right now, because he'd probably tell you how to handle that Burmese, but I know he's probably busy. But yeah, Tim's a really good guy too. There's a bunch of good people.
Well,
Chris, guess what Burmese is coming to my house next week?
I am telling you, I think Satan himself is inside of this Burmese python. I'm not kidding at all. He's
Like, we
terrible.
have some mean ones, but they get over it quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we have.
But like, he's mean the whole time.
Yeah, there's never a moment in handling him where he's not hissing and shitting all over us.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's bizarre.
All right, let me see if I could get him on real quick. Hold on, guys. Let me go get him real quick. Go ahead and take over, John, for me really quick. I'll be right back.
My bad. So on y'all educational shows, do y'all load up school to school kind of thing, or do y'all have everybody just come to y'all, or is it kind of like 50-50, or?
Yeah, it's usually about 50-50. We do a lot of in-house field trips with like young kids from different schools. We do a lot of stuff with homeschool kids. But then we also get hired to come and present at schools as well. It's mostly elementary to middle school. We've done a couple high schools, but high school kids don't care that much unless they care.
Right.
You know, it's a small percentage of them that actually would listen. So yeah, I'd say it's about 50-50 with our educational program.
Yeah.
Did that say Caitlin says talk about Sarge?
Yeah, that's one of our bearded dragons. He was a serious rescue. He has really bad metabolic bone disease. He was being kept in a 40-gallon breeder tank with 9 other adult bearded dragons, and he's lost some of his limbs because of it. So, and that's Caitlin's favorite. That's her favorite bearded dragon. We them here, so.
I mean, I have a story because like I had brought a bearded dragon breeder on to the pod once, and I can't remember his name or who it was, but here's Tim. Hold on, Tim. I'm telling you the story real quick. And
This is Tim?
yeah.
Oh my God, Tim, I watch you all the time. I'm screenshotting this. I'm fangirling.
She's
Sorry, give me
fangirling,
one
Tim.
second, guys. I'm trying to mute. I've got screens all over the place
I
here.
didn't know that's who you were talking about.
Yeah, Tim. We became best buds.
She's gonna cry.
I know with this podcast, I met a lot of people, so that's why I'm like, you should talk to so and so. But yeah, so the bearded dragon had metabolic bone disease, but he was like, it was due to impactation, like from eating the dirt. But it's survival of the fittest. They're gonna eat the dirt. All the donuts will eat the dirt and eventually die off. And that's exactly what he said. And I was like, what? Yeah. So I was like, he's like, survival of the fittest, bro. It's just human nature. And I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like, I mean, that's not something that I would do, but I have no opinion.
I know, but that MBD bone, that disease it's also a touchy subject too, because like people have their own opinions, and
it's bad.
It's nasty. I've got a bearded dragon here that I adopted from a guy. He wasn't going to sell it to anybody. He had really bad MBD, and it wouldn't. His back legs didn't work.
Yeah.
And it's been. I honestly expected him to live maybe 6 months or something, tops. And it's been 5 years. I mean, of course, he doesn't get any better because they can't heal from that.
Right.
But
you can
5 years later, man, I put food in his bowl and he's flopping all over the place. And I come by and he pokes his head up. He'll like start banging on the glass with his nose when he sees me and stuff. I mean, he's a gregarious old guy, just crippled, but I mean, he's happy about it. So
Sarge, literally, you can hear
That's me.
It's like cracking.
Yeah.
We have to physically remove his sperm plugs with our fingers.
oh damn.
We have to physically pull them out of his cloaca. It's the worst thing ever.
Like a large part of his tail missing, and he just can't get it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
He's special needs. We'll send him with the berm.
Yeah, I've got him, and I recently took on a Jag Pondro that's got
Exactly, Caitlin.
just a Jag. The Jag gene has got him neurologically all jacked up. Her rather. She's an older snake, so there's not really, not anything we can do with it. But she's gorgeous, but she's just got a really bad muscle tone problem and equilibrium and stuff. So
yeah. I like what Caitlin just said. She'll speak for us. She
Yeah, I like what you said too. I agree. I agree.
one of our really loyal volunteers. We love.
So I've been sitting here kind of multitasking and stuff. I guess you guys run a rescue out there. Is it Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just across from West Virginia, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes, we literally could walk to West Virginia from where we're sitting right now.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Lived out in Akron for a little while as a kid.
I wondered because of you have a little bit of a.
Yeah, I'm originally from the Chicago area.
Chicago. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Because Akron, has a little. Yeah.
So, what can you tell me about the Burmese python, Tim? You're muted now. You muted yourself.
Okay,
there you go.
There we go. Yeah, I was trying to fix my cord and the thing.
We were all listening.
Talking about multitasking today. It's crazy. But yeah, man, they're just golden retrievers of the reptile world.
Are they?
Right. Yeah, minor. Matter of fact, let me get this brat out.
John's looking at his watch.
See, telling you, Tim.
Sending John the berm. He wants it.
You can't send it to him. I already claimed it.
So this is my baby.
I don't care. Anyway.
I've got a 13-foot male downstairs who is just the same way that this girl is. But she wasn't necessarily a rescue. And when I got her, she had just come out of the egg, hadn't gotten her first meal, hadn't had her first shed yet. Needless to say, that's a person that I don't interact with anymore just because that's bad practice for. Yeah, you've got to make sure that they're shedding and eating and all that stuff. So I had to force feed her for about 3 months. She would not open her mouth for any reason at all. She'd never strike. She'd never try to bite me, and she wouldn't touch food. So I force fed her for about 3 months, and then she started eating on her own all of a sudden. And she's the sweetest girl ever.
Force feeding is really difficult.
Yeah. It's really nerve-wracking, especially when they're so small.
Yeah, we had a tiny little ground boa that was sent to us, and we will never order. And I'm not going to say names or throw anyone under the bus, but we will never place again. We ordered feeder, and we got a free gift with our and this tiny little ground boa. I'm telling you, it was that long, and its head was like that big, and it just was frozen. It was February. It was cold and awful. And I knew it wasn't going to make it just because, but we tried.
Right.
Damn, that's sad.
Yeah.
I bet you guys were mad and you messaged that person back. I was like, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, we were not happy because we were not expecting. So, even if we had been expecting something like that, to send someone a hatchling that's just so tiny, that's just so irresponsible, especially when you don't know who you're sending it to and if they're even equipped to take care of that animal or know anything about that animal. It just really rubbed us the wrong way. So we'll never order feeders from them again.
Yeah.
It was so teeny. We bawled. We cry a lot here.
I bet.
Oh.
A lot of crying.
Yeah. I lost a super dwarf baby not long ago, and it tore me up.
It does.
Gorgeous little, and it was even harder doing the necropsy on her. I mean, she died in my hands, and I did a necropsy and seen that she had a perforated intestine, and it was just for that baby. There was no coming back from that, Yeah, it's so sad. But I don't know how you guys do it, man. It's the rescue stuff, and I mean, I was in medical school for a while, and I left that profession because I've got no stomach for seeing unnecessary suffering. And it takes a special kind of person to do that.
We see a lot of it, and like we had a gecko, boba, Boba. This little gecko really messed me up for some reason. He was just so. There was something about him, and I rocked him like a baby until he passed away. And
Oh,
until he passed away, I knew he had horrible tail rot, mouth rot. People just.
mm.
So that was a moment. And Boba is so. I hold him dear to my heart.
Yeah.
But he was a sweetheart. We do see a lot of unnecessary suffering. We're better.
Yeah. So are you guys seeing a lot of big snakes?
Oh
Yes.
Are you?
Yes, we just got surrendered. It's been over a month ago because they're both out of quarantine now. It's been about 2 months ago, and they're actually right here behind us. We got these. We got a really good grant. Wait,
Oh, cool.
can you see the enclosure?
Yeah.
Yep.
2 very large, a hog island and this boa. We think she's an imperator, but we think that she's mixed maybe with some BC because she's got the eyelashes and the head stamp, and she's got the paddles, and she's got all the tail signs of it, but her tail's really dark.
All right.
So I think she might. But very.
I'm like, if y'all get bigger snakes than that, then y'all can send those my way.
These ones are just overweight because they give them twice a month.
He's like, or me.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying I'm overweight.
Oh, I was like, what?
Quit doing that. The guy's like, what did he say? He's like, if I don't have a rabbit, I feed her 3 jumbo rats. And I'm like, why do you need to feed a boa that much? A boa constrictor that much?
And my buddy from Spain joined right now. He says, "Hello everyone, hi from Spain. First time joining live on this channel."
Oh wow!
Cool.
Yeah, I won his raffle. It was a sticker raffle. It was guess his age. Everybody guessed like 30s, and he was telling me over his age. And I just guessed 29, and he said you were right.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember 29 too.
Yeah.
I had a lot more fun back then.
Not even 29.
Next month.
I'm 37.
And would you think that I'm older than him, or him?
You're 37, John.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm older than him. I mean him.
I would say you're 29, 30.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm 38.
38? Oh.
Yeah, I'm older than him.
Shit, you guys are making me feel grandpa here.
It'll make you feel better. I look older than you with all the gray hair.
I'm years behind y'all.
I just work out. I played arena football. Me and Tim were prior law enforcement. So,
I ran from no playing.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that's pretty much our background. Prior law enforcement.
Yeah.
Went into security.
I just get injections.
See, but I heard that kills the nerve.
Great. I don't want the nerves.
Oh, okay. She's like, right? Okay.
Your argument is?
Yeah.
My forehead or eyebrows, that's exactly what I want. So
She's like, I just want them to say right there.
yeah, if it kills the nerves,
Wait.
I don't pay for it. See?
Well, that's what I heard. I heard it kills off the nerve. So I don't know.
That's great.
Yeah. I've got like 3 joints in the back I need to start pushing that stuff into then.
Yeah, me too.
This isn't our like full-time job. Obviously, nobody that works here gets paid. But we both work at a medical spa, and they do all the injections, fillers, Botox, that sort of thing. And then we also both do hair. So we are literally the busiest people on this planet.
Yeah.
I tend to be a little melodramatic about things, but we work a lot. At least 10 hours a day.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was gonna say y'all sound like I
Well,
used to do that.
one day we would like for our organization to be maintained jobs, but for right now, this is just kind of what we have to do to keep it afloat. So
Caitlin says she gets paid in Sarge cuddles.
she really.
Sometimes that's the best.
But, yeah.
One day our
Get-
goal is to maintain a revenue that sustains us and allows us to have employees as well. But we just started, like I said. I mean, we opened our doors in November, so
yeah.
Yeah, I was watching your podcast, your YouTube channel, and I was watching the one where you're at the expo, and then I don't know what happened to the rest of the expo, but then you were back at the hotel.
okay. But I am not good.
It's called age.
It's called 80.
Yeah, I got that.
Of the YouTube channel, but here we are, and so our YouTubes suck. But one day they'll get better.
I'm like you. I have
Yeah,
ADHD. Like when I get to the show, I try to like record it at the expo show, but then I start hanging out with the guys or whoever I'm there with and laughing, and I'm just like, forget it, it's gone.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
And I could have been videoing, except that I was using our roller cart as a scooter and doing wheelies, and like I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Bro, yeah, she was doing literally wheelies. It was awesome. It was funny.
Yeah.
They're professional the whole time.
Well,
Mostly.
that's a stretch.
Professional for us.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, just running through this building, popping wheels.
It was like the perfect, but it was like meant for you. And it really was. But that's besides the point. I do forget to video. I'm working on that. And we just got a girl she's just volunteering to do our videography stuff. So I'm hoping it starts to get better and improve, but I highly doubt it. Don't expect that anytime soon from us on YouTube.
Just like fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, consistency and quality isn't really our specialty.
I just hate talking to the camera. Like, I grew up around friends that own different kind of federation. I have a friend that owns a wrestling federation. We grew up working on that together, and he would turn the camera on, and I just freeze because it scared me. You know, I don't know, but now this is helping. I travel from state to state doing shows and different podcasts and stuff. It's gotten easier through the years. It's still like right now, my heart's still going a million miles an hour. And I want to settle down. And it's not there yet, you know.
You're like that. What's that movie where he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands?
Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby. Bro, he's like, just keep your heads down and they come back up.
That is not my nickname. That is not going to be my nickname.
Like Ricky Bobby. And then he's like, don't put that even on me, Ricky Bobby.
Shake and
Don't
bake.
put that on me.
Shake and bake.
Yeah.
If I back on this, John,
So where do y'all see yourselves in the next 5 years?
I own snakes. I don't know what to do. I own snakes.
What's that baby noise, dude? What was that?
My daughter.
Oh, I was like, what was that?
I was listening to that too. I was like, somebody's got some sound effects going on.
Yeah, I know. I was like, where'd that come from?
I love it. So no, my fun, and I would like to have it in my area.
I wasn't telling you to hush. I'm sorry. I wasn't saying you.
He has this little one there. You just can't see her.
John's anxiety is getting the best of him, and he's telling us all to shut up.
Right.
No, but I would like to have an interactive zoo in our area. So I'm currently reaching out to some investors, and so my dad he owns a magnet company, and he actually has 2 plants, and he sells and distributes magnets not only nationally but globally as well. So I kind of have help with the business aspect of it, you know, he's done really well for himself, and I have been planting the seed for him to kind of maybe invest one day. So, you know, I sent him a video of our red runner roaches colonizing the other day, and he's like, you know, kid, I always knew you had a bright future. But one day he'll see it. He'll see the vision. He'll jump on. He like helps us out here and there, and he's just watching from a distance. But I'm just like, oh, come on, Dad. Like, yeah, one day.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like one day.
One day. I mean, it's kind of what his dad did for him to open his magnet business. So I'm just like hoping that he'll be an investor one day. And then I have a couple of other people kind of sniffing around, wanting to invest when we're ready for that step. We have to convince the community that they need us first, because we're a nonprofit. So if the community doesn't feel like they need us, then they're not going to invest in what we want to do.
I honestly feel like, well, speaking for me, I honestly feel like we do need you guys, because like when we have reptile keepers that can't keep reptiles anymore, where else are they going to go? What are they going to do? Just release them?
Right. Yeah. And that is what they're doing. So.
And yes, and that's exactly what they're doing. Because so on the news the other day, we had here in San Antonio, a Burmese python was released here in San Antonio. Yeah, bro. So tell me, like, why not, bro? Like, how hard is it to get on Instagram and look up snake people? Like, come on, man.
There's no resources. But here's the other thing that we were just talking about earlier. Yeah, it's simple to go online, but how much shit are they going to catch? You know what I mean? Can they mentally handle all the backlash? Are they emotionally well enough to handle people attacking them? So we got a phone call. It was in the middle of January. It was freezing cold outside. This girl's calling us. She's bawling. She's like, my electricity got shut off. I have nowhere to go. I'm losing my house. I have 3 reptiles here that are freezing. I don't know what to do. The humane societies have turned us away. I posted on Facebook, but people were just attacking me. And so I took my post down, and I don't know what to do. And so we loaded up our car and we went to her house and we picked up her reptiles, and she's just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we were like so compassionate with her. You don't need to feel guilty. This is a circumstance that you are going through. You should be having support and help. And instead people were being horrible to her.
I gotta go.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Sorry.
See you later. Have a good day at church.
Y'all good night.
Bye.
So, but that was one of those instances where, you know, I think you're right. How easy is it to just kind of go online and whatever? But she tried, and people were just savages to her. So she took her post down, and she was willing to let her reptiles die before she would get burned at the stake, trying to help them. You know what I mean?
See, and that's the thing. I guess with certain people, they'd be like, "How come you didn't have a backup plan?" You know, or they'll say stuff like that, because I've seen it happen. I've seen posts come up on Instagram where like, "Oh, my house caught fire," and they'd be like, "Well, why didn't you have a backup plan?" Well, how was I know my house was gonna catch fire? Like,
what are you expected to do? Run into a burning building, save your reptiles? I mean, people are just so irrational, and they have the weirdest expectations of other people. So it's just one of those things where, you know, if you have, and a lot of people do it. I've done it. I've purchased an animal that I wasn't prepared for. I just purchased a ringneck parakeet, Marjorie. She's horrible. But you know, if it were not me and I were somebody else, that bird was, the reason I got her was that she was taken back to the pet store 3 or 4 times. And I didn't know a thing about her, and I got her because I felt bad. Because they were like, oh, she's been returned. She's really scared. I noticed she was plucking out her feathers. But I'm guilty of it myself. Buying an animal on a whim, you know, isn't that what we get excited about with expos? You know, people are excited and they buy something, and, you know, maybe they don't know everything about it. So with our adoptive animals, like in Ransom, West Virginia, everybody had to fill out an adoption application, and they had 48 hours to obtain the proper enclosure and send us a picture, or we were going to come repossess the animal. But not everybody can do stuff like that. You know, if a person sees a snake at an expo, I see it a million times and they're like, oh, do I want this? That's how I got the Crebo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I saw that Kariba. I was like, oh my God, that thing is gorgeous.
It is. He's amazing. His name is Claudio Sanchez. And that's
I was like,
of Coheed and Cambria, greatest band ever. Anyway, so but like, did I need that? Absolutely not. I was impulsively buying.
And like, you kind of
Oh,
at the show.
At the show, yeah.
From people there.
Oh yeah, for impulsively buying.
Yeah. Some people were like staring at us.
But how could I turn it down? It was a Crebo for less than $500.
And they had it in a 20-gallon tank just sitting there.
that thing was huge. I was like, a 20-gallon.
I think they just had it.
I mean,
for
it
the
was for display, but like it was so mad and it was crammed in there.
Yeah. He was spicy.
Yeah, he was.
Actually handleable.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, he's handleable. At first, I thought maybe he was wild caught, but his mouth looks good. He doesn't have parasites that I've tested for. And he actually looks really good, and he's actually got a great demeanor. So I lucked out. And they probed him and said he was a male, but I think that it's a female.
Yeah, I saw him probing on your video, right? Your YouTube.
Yeah.
Right there on that show. There, he's all the probe went 3 inches or 3 deep or something. I heard him say it. He was calling it out. It was funny.
Now, how do you get that mixed up? Like, if it's a male, you're gonna not be able to go that deep, and they did. So I'm hoping it's a female. I'm just lying to myself.
That happened.
Because it was a wicked deal. It really was. I couldn't turn it.
She's like, I'm hoping it's a female. Then I'm gonna get a male. Then we're gonna have some babies.
But you know, we do this thing. Like, we have people who impulsively buy from pet stores that aren't even us. Like we went to a pet store, one of the chain pet stores in Parkersburg, and they were selling a freaking old world, highly venomous tarantula.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's docile. It's the most docile one we have. And we were,
yeah. She's like digging through it with her bare hands.
was it a Chilobrachus species? What was it?
It was a cobalt.
Oh, it was a cobalt blue.
It was cobalt blue. And she's just digging through the container.
With her hands.
I mean, this thing is like big.
But, you know, we get this a lot where the local pet stores are just giving such horrible misinformation. People leave with an animal, and guess where they come to for advice? Well, they come to us because there's no other resources, and the pet stores don't know anything.
Or to see they go out looking for somebody who works with that animal. That's that exact species that they're working with. Because I used to do that. So when I came into ball pythons, that's how I got my mentor. I was searching up ball python breeders. I ran into a lot of people. I ran into a lot of good people. I ran into a lot of bad people.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but we try not to gatekeep because, and we do get mad. And there are times where we want to tell people, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing? How is that making sense to you? But we can't do that. We have to be empathetic, and we have to be understanding, and we have to see where this person's coming from and why they were messing up so badly. Because if we don't, then they're not going to be receptive to the information that we're giving them, and they're not going to be receptive to the education that we're offering, and they're not going to keep their animals the way we're hoping they do. If we consistently are being negative in this hobby, then people are not going to want to ask for help. And I think, you know, the main issue of people releasing their animals and people allowing their animals to die and people accidentally abusing, I think it's really coming from the mass amount of negativity in this industry. And it has to change for the animals. The animals are the ones going to suffer just because we're angry, you know? And
yeah, I recently had somebody making a lot of mistakes with his retake, and we did a video where, you know, we was kind of coaching him through everything, making some really nasty mistakes, and I was really surprised in the comments of the video that most people were really positive. There was only one person who really, tried coming down on him. I just put the kibosh on it right now. I was like, you know what, this dude has got the guts to come out here and put himself out there and put his mistakes on display in order to become a better keeper. Everybody needs to just back off and let him learn, and just quit trying to chase people away just to make themselves feel better. I think it's just an ego boost with folks. They want to,
like, I know.
Yeah, I know more than you do, and it's not like that, because everybody knows more than somebody else at something else. So
Dale Carnegie says everyone is a superior in some way, and in that we can learn from them. My favorite.
Right.
But it's true.
See, sometimes like when I go like to groups, like because I'm in different like on Instagram, I have different like chat groups, I guess, and I feel like when I ask a question, it's stupid. Like it's already been asked. I don't know. I feel like it's a stupid question, so I don't ask. But they're like, those are the questions that should be asked. I'm like, I've heard that several times, but
dude, I intentionally try and ask the stupidest questions I can think of all the time.
Well,
I intentionally try anything that I can think of and just throw it out there.
and even like in making videos and stuff like that, like we're always like, oh my gosh, someone's gonna see that we're keeping Petunia, our Savannah monitor, in a small enclosure, which she doesn't have any toes and she doesn't have a tail and she's very, stunted. And we're just like, are people gonna attack us for that? So we are really cautious because people look to us like we're some kind of like, and we don't know everything. We don't know a lot of things. We're learning as we go too. I mean, I've been a keeper for 15 years, but things change so much in just a year. It's hard to keep up with. And so people look at us like we're some like guru of reptile knowledge, and we're not. And we're like, please ask questions on forums and go get onto people's YouTube channels, and we send people to different YouTube channels to get information. And because it's like, when you put yourself out there, it's so scary that someone's going to call you out or call you a phony or be like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And sometimes we don't. You know what I mean? Sometimes we really aren't equipped for something, and then we go out and try to get help, and people are like, aren't you supposed to be a rescue? Aren't you supposed to know what you're doing?
I mean, there's times where we get a surrender in and we have to cram research within a few hours
because we don't know what it is. Because we don't know what it is. Like, we'll get things like Uromastics. We got 2 wild-caught Uromastics. I've never kept Uromastics. I didn't know what I was doing.
I know they're just like bearded dragons, though, right? That's it.
Yes and no. It's a little bit different. They eat different things, but here's the thing: they were wild caught and they were failing to thrive. So it's like, we now need to learn about this new species, and we now need to learn what to do with failure to thrive, because they're being taken from the wild and they are failing miserably. They're losing their weight. They're gasping for air. Their cloacas are swollen. They have parasites. They haven't eaten in a week because they were being shipped around. And it's like, now we have to cram information. We can't just go to these forums and be like, hey, we need help.
Right.
So I hope things do change. I mean, that's the biggest issue that I have. And it's not just this industry, it's every industry.
I mean, I know a lot of people that work with Deer Mastic, so if you ever need more information, I can send you them. They're really nice people.
Because it was like when we were researching, there was some information that was accurate, but a lot of it was just like,
it was hard to find good
bizarre.
information, and we were devouring it at a rapid rate because we knew we were on a time crunch. And by the way, they both passed away. We lost them. It was awful. And we don't have it. I can count on one hand, within all of the states surrounding me, of exotic veterinarians that I know of. There might be more, but we've looked and looked. There is no one who specializes in reptiles. So we have a vet who helps us, but we teach her.
Yeah.
We diagnosed those snakes with inclusion body disease. She'd never even seen or heard of it before.
And
Well, I know if you guys ever run across a problem feel free to hit me up. I've got access to some incredibly smart people with reptiles. Just about anything I can possibly want to know, I've got a phone number that I can call and say, hey, man.
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, me too. Or inbox. Yeah, same. I got a lot of people. I just hit up and be like, hey, what's this? What does it look like? You know?
I mean,
we just had a girl send us photos of her desert blonde scorpion.
Yeah.
And we were like,
I know a lot of, yeah, I got, what's her name? She works with scorpions too. She's House of, I think she works with scorpions. I'm not sure. I may be wrong. But her name's Jessica and she's House of Leaks Boobs.
okay.
And she was supposed to be on here tonight with you guys, but I guess something happened. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, she was.
Making connections is kind of what it's all about, because there's only so much that one person, one organization, can do. So, and it's just usually me and Healy here working, and we have 60 plus animals that we're feeding and watering and bathing and medicating. And right now, knock on wood, our quarantine room is empty. Everyone is out of quarantine. Everyone has had their last dose of antibiotics. Everyone is thriving, but we're just waiting. This weekend, we're supposed to get 20 animals in.
Damn.
From a breeder who doesn't want their animals anymore.
Oh, but they're all healthy, or?
We don't know.
Oh, man.
Like 3 that have been healthy out of like the 80 something that I think,
literally,
and 2 of them were.
Oh, man.
I mean, they're all always sick. I mean, the ball python we just had,
it was so bad. It makes me cry. He was so underfed that his ribs were sticking out. You could see when it was so sad.
He didn't
was
even
stiff
move. Yeah.
At the board.
He was gray. His mouth was gray.
Yeah. And when he came here, the tub that they brought him in said spitting cobra.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Been also dealing in venomous snakes, but they couldn't even take care of their ball python.
That's crazy.
The mucus was just spewing out the side.
You've almost got to try to mess up on ball pythons.
Yeah.
Like
right? I'm like, how do you do that? Right?
Yeah, but you've really got to.
The only thing that's like common in ball pythons that's a mistake is just them not shedding properly and them having the stuck ocular scales. That's the one biggest thing that we see that's really common.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, they're pretty hard animals. Yeah. And when I tell you I've never seen anything like this particular, and we dealt with the 30 snakes who had inclusion body disease, with the stargazing and the, madness. So
spiders,
yeah, this was pretty bad.
Man, I'm like looking at mine now, being all sad.
Yeah. Emotional, and we get mad. We get so mad because we're like, we'll be together with something that's just come in, and we're looking at each other like, what the heck? Like, why would you do this? Like, who does this? And then people are looking at us and like, why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Why do you want to do this? Like, somebody has to. Somebody has to.
Yeah, somebody has to. If not, I don't know where they would be right now. They'd probably be out in the wild for all I know.
They throw them in dumpsters and they put them out in the cold and let them die because they're like, oh, well, they can't thermoregulate, so we'll just put them out in the winter, they'll die. I mean, I've heard people say that, with leopard geckos and stuff. Like, oh, we'll just set them free. They'll live through the summer, and then in the winter, they'll die.
I mean, there was iguana.
We've had to go
locally
capture iguanas. There's a bearded dragon in some lady's garden eating her garden vegetables. There was 2 black.
That's cute.
Yeah.
There's just
in Ohio.
Exotics.
In Ohio.
That's crazy.
The Department of Agriculture got a hold of us, and the guy's like, we really need resources like you all. He's like, the biggest thing that we see in Ohio is alligators. And I was like, okay. He was just like, yeah, I want a pet alligator in my face with a baby pool.
Oh, I saw that. I heard about that.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I can tell you that right now because I actually think I had somebody on the podcast was in Ohio and his basement was a big pool, had baby alligators down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But I mean, I'm just like thinking about this. I'm like, man, when that thing is big, what you gonna do then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they get massive.
And I'm not saying there's not people who are well equipped to deal with animals such as that. I'm saying they're readily available for people who aren't equipped. And that's the issue.
Yeah,
Because then people are just keeping it in their base.
Yeah. You run into that a lot with the big constrictors, is especially, and I've had a lot of people contact me over the last couple of years about this, where they get retics. Of course, you get them when they're young, and they get big, and then you don't know how to handle the big ones. But even I'll see it a lot where people will already have 12, 14 foot retics and berms or whatnot that are just puppy dog tame. They're nice and easy to handle, just like they're supposed to be. And then they take in a new one that's not that way, and then they realize that I don't know how to handle these things.
Right.
Because if you've got well socialized retics, very basic stuff, they're easy to work with.
Right.
Easiest animals in the world. All you got to do is know how to tap train real quick. If they're socialized, if they're not afraid of you, piece of cake.
Right.
You get one that's afraid of you and you've got your hands full, you can't clean an enclosure, you're going to get bit, you can't handle them properly. And you get all kinds of people that are in that same situation where they've got, man, I don't understand it. I've got these two big snakes and they're perfect. But this one's trying to kill me all the time and I don't know how to deal with it. So,
Right.
see, and I had my retics when I grabbed mine. Like I said, I used to put my hand in there and cover their head.
Yeah.
And they told me to stop doing that and start hook training because that eventually they're going to start striking me. Well, they started striking me. Like I would pull them out, they launch at my beard because I guess this looked like a rat, I guess. And they would just come straight up, like, oh, and just snap at me, and now they just crawl on over me now and everything. So,
Yep.
I've never thought about that, but I guess it would make sense that facial hair might make them think that it was an animal.
yeah, because they just kept it literally looked up at me, and I saw it look down, and it went like that, and I pulled my head back. I was like, oh, damn.
It's crazy.
First thing that goes into our big constrictors enclosures, always the hook. Happen if you.
Yeah, see, I got my hook later, though.
We have a grouchy boa imperator. I think she's got BC in her, but she's big and she's a handful. But once you get her out and you get her calmed down, she's sweet as can be. She's sweet. But it's that initial like getting her out.
Yeah.
And
So I'm gonna ask you. I was like, I only got 2 more questions for you guys because I have to actually get off and go take care of something. What is your take on US Arc?
We are fully supportive of them. 100%.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about US Arc, and I was actually talking to somebody who works closely with US Arc yesterday, and he was saying that we need to get our numbers up. And I was like, yeah, we do. And I said, just come on the podcast and let's talk about it. He goes, yeah, but how many people that come on the podcast are in just one big circle? Like, how's it getting anywhere else?
Right.
Because the same people watch your podcast, you know? So
talk about US Arc at all of our presentations. So try to spread awareness on them. But I actually learned about them from Tim.
You hear that, Tim?
What's that? No, I couldn't hear.
She learned about US Arc from you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Right? He's like, oh yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just checked earlier to make sure I was subscribed to you guys' channel. I already am. So we're good.
Like follow our TikTok or something because our YouTube is so sad.
Our TikTok a lot better.
Our YouTube is.
Y'all have a TikTok?
We do have a TikTok. We actually have.
Y'all gotta send me y'all's TikTok because I'm on TikTok and I got a pretty big following over there.
Do you?
I got a big following everywhere, but I mean,
We just hit 30, which isn't like huge, but it's
but I don't got that big of a following. I thought you were talking like maybe 5K.
viral, very viral videos.
Yeah.
So our
Nice.
game is strong. It is.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You guys will have to start jumping on our live streams every Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We've got every Saturday at 7:00 Eastern. I start the live stream on YouTube, and then afterwards we've got an open Zoom call for all the paid Patreon members. This Saturday after the live stream, I'm opening the Zoom call to everybody that's on the live stream, so we can all just get on there. And I figured that'd be a good way for everybody to kind of see how the Patreon community is and who all's there and how the conversations go and stuff. So yeah, man, you guys should come hang out.
We have a teeny tiny Patreon community. I think we have like 4. But it's a start.
Yeah,
That's good.
It's really a good thing to do. I've been trying to figure out what the best things to do for the Patreon community are and stuff, and I'm just kind of starting with a Zoom call every week.
Yeah.
And we're just community building, and I'll take suggestions from them on what they want to see and what they think I should do and all that stuff. But
it really is about community and then the support, the cause.
Especially for rescues, man. You guys really need the funds, so pushing that Patreon would be great. And any Saturday that you guys want to come on and shoot the shit, I've got it's typically just me on there bumping my gums and answering questions and stuff.
So how do we contact you, Tim, if we had questions on something that we get in that's sick or an animal that we're not?
Typically, the easiest thing for me to see is Facebook messages. Because I'm typically on there. I do a lot of alerts and stuff like that for everything that we do. I run it all through Facebook. I've got an Instagram too that I check for pretty frequently. So, and it's all under Intrepid Exotics.
Okay, Intrepid Exotics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then tomorrow we're gonna be on too.
Yeah, we're gonna be on tomorrow as well.
So y'all are more than welcome to come back on if y'all want.
Yeah.
It's open. We're just gonna sit and talk tomorrow.
We are seeing Hawthorne Heights tomorrow
evening. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You're seeing what?
Hawthorne Heights.
Is that a movie?
Oh my.
I'm like, is that a movie? I don't know.
Are canceled. What?
I don't-
Oh,
Don't
no.
feel bad. I was waiting on you to draw fire because I don't know what
Way to go, Tim.
They're kind of local, but then they got huge and famous.
Ohio is for lovers.
Yeah. You gotta look
Oh,
them up.
okay.
You gotta look them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to because I don't like. What is this? A movie or something?
It's
I
very
actually went to my first concert ever of my life here a couple weeks ago.
What?
Yeah. Adam Ant was out here in Durham, so
Who
on
was
his last tour. Adam Ant. This is like 1970s stuff.
Oh, okay, but I have a favorite. My favorite is Bowie. So
Yeah,
it was
Bowie's
70.
cool. I like
Yeah, that's pretty old. Bowie's old.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we would try to pop on when we can. I would love to have the resource though for if we get animals that we are ill-equipped to deal with, or if we just don't understand what we've gotten ourselves into, because it happens all the time. We are the only resource for people in this whole valley. But then outside of that, we have people bringing animals from up to an hour away from us. So
Damn.
we are overwhelmed. And it's literally just the two of us usually. So we would have some extra resources, honestly.
Yeah, I've got like I said. I mean, the last time somebody approached me with something I didn't know, it was some kind of it looked like a blood infection on a ball python. I'd never seen it before. I just sent the picture to Kevin McCurley, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is this? You ever seen this before? So
Hey, he's coming on the podcast too, right?
Oh, good. When's he?
Yeah, him and Johnny Venom.
Oh, cool.
Johnny Venom?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. we're so excited that we got to be on it. I was like,
Yeah, I got them coming on. I had a lot of I know a lot of people, and Johnny. I talk to Johnny like everyday basis. He's always hitting me up with different workouts because we
yeah,
work out together. But he does calisthenics. I'm a bodybuilder. It's different because I'm a power lifter. So I do like football is what I throw people around. So it's just different. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him out at Retic Fest last year. We were wrestling Karma down out of the rafters. Garrett's big 20-foot retic.
So yeah, you fell into the right hand.
for you all because, and this is like what I was talking about, Chris. It's like everything just keeps falling into place for us. I think it's because we're right where we're supposed to be and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And so these things keep, and I'm all about, I know you have to go, but before, so I just have to say this. I am all about manifesting for yourself and just like creating your own future. I believe we're creators. I believe that we decide what our future looks like. And I have just decided that this is going to be what we're doing. And ever since I got that mindset, it's just like one thing after another, it just is unfolding for us. So we're super grateful.
Okay, and I got like I agree with all of that. I really do. I do agree with all of that. That's what I was gonna say. But what I was gonna say too is like the manifesting part. I do believe in manifesting because I would, without manifesting, I don't think I'd be where I am today either. So I do agree with that. Like I highly believe in manifestation, like in yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%. I believe that we are. If we believe it, we can achieve it. You just have to keep going, and it's hard work, and that's where people get hung up. Is the hard work part. They think if it's meant to be, why is it so hard? And it's like that's because nothing good comes easy. You have to push through the hard work. Like this is effing hard. We're down here at the bottom of the barrel scraping the sludge right now. We have no money. We are barely getting by, but we are just growing and growing and growing. And every time we turn around, there's another door opening for us and another door opening. So we know it's coming. We just have to keep pushing through the hard stuff. That's the hardest part about it. And I think people get confused by that. Like, if it's meant to be, why is it so hard? It's because it's hard that it's meant to be. That hard stuff, that's what teaches you for the big league. Like you're learning stuff down there, that's going to get you even more success. I do believe that. So even just like seeing Tim here, I'm just like, oh my God, I've watched him for so long. I can't believe I'm sitting right now. Just
So like right here on my banner up here on this wall, there's two albino snakes, an albino and an albino pie over there. See, over there? That's an albino pie. Well, I put those on my banner before I even had the snakes.
Really?
Yeah. And then I got the snakes.
It's like a board. It's
well,
like
I got two albinos. One's a 3,000-gram female, and then a baby albino, and then a albino pied male.
Hell yeah. See?
So
tested. I'm telling you, it works.
So that's why I say I believe in that. And then like all the TikTok people and people that watch the podcast and who believe in me sent me this.
That's amazing.
So it says never give up. On the back it says never give up.
Oh yeah. You can. Listen, you'll never regret pushing through. If you will, every time I've ever done something and it got too hard and I threw in the towel, I regret every second of that. Quitting. It's the quitting you regret. Pushing through it, you will never ever regret trying, ever. That's just the way it is. And I try to tell people that because our overhead here in this building is around $6,000 a month. Like it's a lot. $6,000 a month. Our rent in this building is $2,500 a month.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a lot. Plus electric and food and medicine and vet visits. Give or take, we're looking around $6,000 a month. So every month, we're on the drawing board. How are we going to make $6,000 for our organization? How are we going to do this? And I'm telling you, it's just like work, and then it happens. And somehow we get the money, and we just keep going and going. It's wild. It's wild. you would have told me 4 years ago that I would be doing this and spending that much money every month on reptiles, I'd have laughed.
Right.
But here we are, and it's working somehow.
That's amazing. That's awesome, though. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're really
So,
proud of what we've done here, and just the community has helped us a lot too.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if Tim has a question for you. Tim, you got a last question before we head on out of here?
No, we'll just keep in touch, man. Definitely. Make sure you hit me
My
up on Facebook and all that stuff. And if there's anything that we can do, you know, I'd like to do something at some point, maybe help get you guys some exposure and stuff like that. And
yeah.
And if there's ever anything that we've got one other rescue out here close to Charlotte that actually comes out and helps us with our public presentations and stuff. So I try and get her stuff out when we can too. So.
And just inspire people to do the rescue work. You know, do it.
So I'm like, if you have like a Cash App link or something, I'll put it in the description down low. I mean,
Yeah.
to help you guys out, send you.
And any donations made to the facility is a tax write-off because we are an official 501c3. So.
And you can just send me that after the live too. I mean, but I'm gonna ask you, like, if you could change one thing in this hobby, what would it be and why?
If I could change one thing in this hobby, it would be that more people, it would be not the people in the hobby, but that the people outside of the hobby accepted and appreciated us more and understood why we love animals. I would just change the perception of almost like the outside world so that they could understand like why we love these animals so much. And it could grow.
I mean, we are starting to change a lot of.
That's the one thing.
See, if nothing else, the electric companies should be pushing reptiles on everybody that they can and cash in on it.
For real, you ain't even lying though, Tim.
Matter of fact, that thing, light bulb, ding, ding, ding.
Right.
We work for a subsidiary of our local utility company out here, so maybe I need to be going to work and telling these guys to start pushing reptiles since we run gas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for coming on here. Appreciate. Oh wait, before we go, you got to drop yourselves where they can find you guys. Go ahead and start plugging yourselves up. You know where they can find you, like Instagram, YouTube.
Oh yeah. So we do. So all of our social media platforms are just going to be For Goodness Snakes 8. Literally all of them. Spelled just how it sounds. For Goodness Snakes 8. And then our Facebook page is just FGS8. And our TikTok's where it's at. We go live every Thursday.
See, I didn't know that, and I'm always on TikTok.
Yeah, we go live every Thursday night. Not this Thursday because we'll be at Hawthorne Heights concert, but
Yeah,
I don't know what that is, but okay.
you're gonna look.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look right now.
So For Goodness Snakes 8. The 8 is because when we first started, we had 8 snakes. And it's an infinity symbol, which is my shit, so.
Feel you on that. I don't got infinity symbols on me. I just got like a bunch.
I don't think I have infinity symbols.
See, I got my logo on me here.
Hell yeah, we want to get our logo.
yeah.
Nice.
I got both of them. I got my old one here, and then my newer one here, and then I gotta get my newer one over here. So, because I got a snake over here too, so it's my reptile sleeve.
Take our logo on me anywhere.
So that's where that's gonna go. But
Awesome.
on that, I appreciate you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for your time. And before we get on out here, though, I'm gonna ask you, what did you think of the podcast?
We loved it. I could sit and chat about stuff all day, though. I am a chatty Kathy. So.
She is.
I was really excited to meet Tim. I'm going to talk about this all night.
Yeah.
See, she was like, wait, that's Tim? She was all fangirl. I was like, yeah, that's Tim. I just met Tim. But so before we get on out here, I always like to live on a positive message. So what's your positive message for everybody watching right now?
My positive message is I'm just going to go with the manifesting thing. If you want something for your future and you think that it's something that can make a difference, just decide and get it. Take what you want. Manifest. Do the
And
thing.
Haley?
I'm not good. So probably the same. She doesn't want to hear from more.
I'm all she's just like
Oh, a positive thing for Haley would be that she didn't have to actually be around people.
Yeah.
that what?
Yeah.
That she didn't actually have to be around people. We did this on the
Oh, okay.
not a people person.
I'm all about like talking to people. I'm all about meeting new people, so that's what I do.
I love
So,
it. We had a
I
great
don't know.
Thank you so
But I appreciate you guys for coming on here, and I appreciate you, Tim, coming on again. And I'll see you tomorrow night.
Sure
6,
thing, man.
6, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna I've been putting out that Tegu video every day, doing some handling. So I'm gonna be right on the cusp. I just won't live premiere it tomorrow. I'll just put it out. But
All right.
so yeah, I come home, I start filming really quick, try and get everything out because we're doing a daily showing his progress and or lack thereof. And
All right. Well, then I'll see you tomorrow at 6, brother. Appreciate you coming on as always.
good to see you guys.
On that note, I'm gonna go ahead and play the outro, and then tell everybody have a good night. Remember to lift each other up, stay positive, and always check on your loved ones. Y'all have a good night, guys. We out here.
Bye guys. Thank you.